Sorry, I forgot to take him. Sorry about that. That probably broke the mood a little bit. I didn't mean for The Rock to be there. I'm sorry. So, this just gets started right away. This is the Tetris Killer. This apparently came out in 2020, June 2020. It's described as a clickable horror story, and got this from Itch.io. I believe this is the first. This might be the first game from the developer named Nico Sarantaris, I believe. We're going to be reading this interactive horror story. I don't think this is very long. We'll find out together. I don't actually know much about it. Let's see what it's. Let's read. You know how these. It's a story. I don't have to explain to you the gameplay of a story. We're going to read this. Ahem. You were one of the first at the scene, although you couldn't get inside. You've talked with a neighbor, the one who called the police. You've seen police officers' faces, pale and sick with disbelief. You've seen 2 of them throwing up on the sidewalk. What happened inside the house was that bad. You check your notes and just know it. There's no time to lose. This will blow up. All right, time to get started. Let's start a thread on Twitter. I guess we're not one of the cops. Are we an influencer? Are we chasing those retweets? Let's do it. 5 bodies were found by the police. One of them was the owner of the house. They were heavily distorted and mummified to shape 5 of the 7 Tetris pieces. After sending this first tweet, you felt this itch your senior editor used to refer to, a biological response to the understanding of being confronted with something that's truly news. Yeah, do we all have that biological response? Never encountered it before. Bodies were shaped as O, Smash Boy, T, Tweewee, S, Rhode Island Z, J, Blue Ricky, and Z, Cleveland Z. I always love when people use the actual names. This is a developing story. It's very dramatic to refer to the actual names of the pieces. 2 tweets, that would do it. You take a lengthy break and wait, eyes fixed on the small screen. 10, 15, 20 seconds pass. You refresh your timeline. 7 likes and 3 retweets. You received a direct message. We will read the DM. Keep tweeting, says Julia. Add images too. And remember, not everyone knows Tetris. Tetris, you smile. Julia misspells nothing. Not even on social media. She must have typed in a hurry. This could be the opportunity you've been waiting for. A chance to redeem yourself. To start over. Oh, we have a haunted past. This is our big break. Let's download and edit an image. Use the native photo editor on your app on your phone to draw circles around the pieces you mentioned in your last tweet. Don't forget the red arrows. Circles and then red arrows pointing at the circles, and then put your shocked face next to it, and like your mouth is open and you're shocked looking at the red arrows. Let's send the image. You've added the image to your thread. You've seen it some months ago on Reddit. It was from an original Nintendo instruction booklet. Most people don't know the Tetris pieces have names. Well, it's a little maybe controversial about how official the names are. I mean, technically they have names, but I don't know how much of an authority the NES Tetris manual is. Orange Ricky, of course, is the best one. People start quote retweeting your thread. Some of them ask about the 2 missing Tetris pieces, Hero and Orange Ricky. Let's. No, we don't want to get too involved. We don't want to get involved in the conversation. We don't want to get digging into the dirt. We're the source of information. We have the position of authority. We're not some pleb having a conversation on Twitter. We will just only like some replies, not answer any. You speed like some replies to keep Twitter engagement high and decide to focus on the main thread. Things are happening fast. Your thread was retweeted by your newspaper's official account. You check your teeth in the rear view mirror. Maybe Julia will ask you to make some live video. Although you'd prefer not to. It's rumored that one of the victims participated in Nokabe, the brain wall. This segment from the Japanese TV show Tanruzu no Minasan no Okage Deshita was also known as Human Tetris. According to one of the crime scene investigators, the one who accepted your money and uses an unofficial phone to reach you, this is one of the probable scenarios being examined by the authorities. Mentions start piling up. You decide to push things further. We will continue the thread. A source inside the house sent me this picture. It's allegedly one of the victims. Funny thing is that the polygon shape in the picture is not a tetromino. No, not a typo. Tetrominos and Tetris are called tetrominos. You attach the photo your source sent you and add this caption. Is this one of the victims of the Tetris Killer? Your phone just goes crazy. Your thread was retweeted by some 100K followers' accounts. You've received a DM. Well, let's read the DM. Julia says, "You fucking genius. People are using your motto. Tetris Killer will trend so hard." Julia's writing. You wait a bit. And try to be less pompous. Not everyone is a goddamn gamer. Your fingers are trembling with excitement. Other media outlets are already referring to the murderer as the Tetris Killer. You know your move wasn't clever or anything. You were first. And in journalism, being first is more important than being real. You also realize that your word rate just skyrocketed. Let's send Julie a DM about our new rates. I'll try. Listen, my phone is buzzing like crazy. Over 200 new followers. We need to talk. A TV van pulls over. The big boys are here. You check your mentions. 56 new ones. Replies. New followers and retweets. People are starting to ask questions. And a meme? Not particularly good. Not the first one. Let's read a new DM. Julia says, yeah, but not now. Everyone is talking about your killer, so keep tweeting. Julia's right. You have time on your side. This is your story. So where were you? You check the notes. According to a source, police are analyzing YouTube compilations from the show to see if it's just a coincidence. Last tweet was from your source inside the house, a comment regarding a picture he sent to you via WhatsApp. That was it. No more notes now. If the police wouldn't have made you get into your car, maybe you could have talked a little more with the neighbor. All right, police are making us leave. Let's search Twitter. You decide to make a search and try to estimate the reach of your story. Let's, well, if I want to know the reach of the story, I should probably search for Tetris Killer instead of my name. People are talking about the Tetris Killer, some of them even using the hashtag. You don't like the fact that the hashtag without the definite article has considerably more search results than the one including it. Your phone rings. It's Julia. Yeah? Julia asks you right away, where did you find the details about the way the 5 bodies were shaped? Well, Julia, can't reveal my sources. Not at these rates. She says, oh, fuck off. Please call my boss, and he called me. I said to him the same thing you're telling me, but you know they monitor Twitter, right? They will eventually get to you. Julia adds, anyway, why don't you go to a bar and keep tweeting from there? Remember to use the masked IP. You don't want to be disturbed by the police right now. They'll use your advantage, and some other journalist will claim the spotlight. All right, let's head to a bar. You turn left and start looking for a bar. You can't use your phone to find one. Following Julia's advice, you've already turned it off. When you finally find it, you turn right and make 2 blocks before pulling over. If police officers find your car, they would search other places closer to your vehicle first, giving you enough time to escape. Let's order some coffee. Order some coffee. The bar is a TV. A news channel is showing the outside of the house. You can't hear anything. Police officers are trying to keep journalists out of the cordon area. Open the laptop. I force myself to examine everything is okay with the VPN before opening a Tor browser and checking your replies. Over 2.3k new followers. And the tweet with the name of all Tetris pieces. has been retweeted more than 1.5k times. Check my replies. Lots of people making the same joke about the missing hero, the eyepiece of Tetris. The pun just seems to work. As you continue browsing Twitter, you spot a thread from Linda, a well-known journalist. She's talking about the Tetris effect. Started making some profiling on the killer. Fuck. She's trying really hard. All right, let's read about the Tetris effect. Can't let Linda get one up on us. You open some tabs and start reading. The Tetris effect, also known as Tetris syndrome, occurs when people devote so much time and attention to an activity that it begins to pattern their thoughts, mental images, and dreams. We'll keep skimming the page. A more comprehensive understanding of the lingering effects of playing video games has been investigated empirically as game transfer phenomena, GDP. Let's read about GDP. A series of empirical studies with over 6,000 gamers has been conducted since 2010 into game transfer phenomena, GTP, a broadening of the Tetris effect concept coined by Angelica Bodg in her thesis. Angelica. You think you might have read this name mentioned by Linda on her thread. Check Linda's thread. You're correct. Linda mentions the GTP, Angelica, and the Tetris effect. She's writing from a psychological perspective. Shit. You need to come up with your own angle on the Tetris Killer to regain attention, and you need it fast. You know, there's no time for subtlety. So you decide to go for a more shocking take on the killings. How did the killer manage to shape victims' bodies as Tetris pieces? Let's read about bone reshaping. You remember a piece on bone reshaping someone shared some time ago. You couldn't find that same article. There's plenty of material online about the practice. The basic principle is that any long-term, deforming pressure brought to bear on a bone or group of bones can result in permanent deformity. You automatically think of foot binding. Let's read about foot binding. There we go. Here's a bound foot. Foot binding was the custom of applying tight binding to the feet of young girls to modify the shape and size of their feet. In this practice, the feet of female children were bound in such a way that the metatarsals were bent downward and forced towards the heel of the foot. This created abnormal angulation of the tarsal bones and abnormal relationships among all the bones and joints of the foot. Even though it's interesting, foot binding is mainly practiced on children, and you doubt the killer used this technique to reshape victims' bodies. There's a joke here somewhere about how binding causes abnormal relationships. I don't know, there's like a joke there, something about there's like such a thing as social binding or interpersonal, but something like that. Oh, my relationships are all abnormal. I can't think of what the joke is. There's something there. There's some wordplay to be had. Let's drink more coffee. It's a little cold, but you don't seem to care. You take a new sip and you realize something. Instead of searching for deformation techniques, maybe you should search for reconstructive ones. After some Wikipedia entries, a name comes up. Read about Gavril Ilizarov. Hello. Gavril Ilizarov was a Soviet physician known for inventing the Ilizarov apparatus for lengthening limb bones and for the method of surgery named after him, the Ilizarov surgery. Speaking of naming things, Ilizarov put his name in almost everything he did. You look at the eyes of this scientist. Knowing that he's already dead makes you feel somehow better. But let's read about the Ilizarov apparatus. The Ilizarov apparatus is a type of external fixation used in orthopedic surgery to lengthen or reshape limb bones. Your pulse speeds up. A Russian doctor with weird-looking paraphernalia to reshape limb bones? The Tetris creator was also Russian. It's all tying together. Compose a new tweet. You write about how the killer must have used the Ilizarov apparatus to reshape victims' bodies and add the Tetris Killer hashtag. You attach an image of a schematic of a double-level tibial lengthening you found on a medical paper to the tweet. You know your followers will love all of these. Let's tweet. The things happen even faster than before. People seem to buy the idea of a cold serial killer using Russian medical instruments to reshape human bodies into Tetris pieces. Lots of new followers, replies, and retweets. I will read the replies. Some user mentions Alexei Pajitnov, designer who created Tetris in 1984, how he started earning royalties from 1996. Others start speculating about a secret government plot in which Elizarov was somehow involved. But one reply got over 500 likes and 150 retweets in less than 10 minutes. It has an image attached. The image is of dick butt, but like shaped into a Tetris piece, and it's like, okay, very good. I'm trying to put in actual work here. Excuse me. And you're just posting dumb meme images and getting all the retweets. What's even the point? Let's expand the reply. WTF, says Patat34. Shit. This tweet has an image attached to it of a before and after treatment with the Elizarov apparatus, and everything just spirals out of control. Accusations of body shaming, users blocking other users, lots of insults, memes, and reaction gifs. Let's browse more replies. Keep checking to see if you were mentioned in any reply to do some damage control when you spot something even worse. A big site shared an article on you and your past, and it's going viral. Oh no, let's read the article. It says you came to Japan after having a weird episode in my country related to one of my novels. I'm a novelist? It mentions drug abuse and how you tainted a police investigation just to sell one of my books. It says I'm a sociopath, a pathological liar. It also mentions that I live tweet from outside the House of Horrors as someone, not me, have dubbed the bodies the house the 5 bodies were found, and concludes that I am the Tetris Killer, the one controlling all the pieces and making them drop as best suits me. Oh, I gotta pinch my gums over this. What am I doing? Pinch my gums? I'm trying to think about what that is. Like, I would say I'm biting my lip, but pinch my gum? I don't know. You taste blood, as you always do when you pinch your upper gum. It's a trick. Are we just, like, actually putting our hand in our mouth and, like, pinching the gum to draw blood because it distracts me? Is that what... All right, okay. It's a trick my brother taught me. The pain feels good. Makes me feel present. For some seconds I am there, and then I finish my coffee, and I check my DMs. I browse through all the new DMs and notice Julia's. You read from bottom up. I'm sorry. You should get some help. It's a shit show. We cannot retweet you anymore. Police called again. They told me that the neighbor you mentioned never entered the house. He smelled something and just made the call. Seems that one of the mummies was bitten by a cat and a gross liquid oozed from it. They know it was a cat because they found it dead in his own vomit near the back door. No, no, no! You keep repeating no to yourself. It can't be like this. It's not just your story, it's real. The neighbor talked to me. He told me everything about the way he found the bodies. Oh, fuck. I notice someone's looking at me from across the street. Ask the owner of the bar if he sees him. The owner of the bar says yes. You put everything in your backpack and decide to go outside to talk to him. It's the neighbor. He runs. You trip with a table before reaching the exit door. You swear profusely, fudge, and run as fast as I can around the corner. When I go around the corner, I receive a hard hit in the face. I wake up, unable to move. I don't know where I am, how I got here. The neighbor is in front of me. Something's off. He's wrapped in weird metal instruments. I scream as loud as I can. The neighbor waits for me to finish and says that the room is fully soundproofed. He adds, and don't worry, we both are being fed intravenously. I already saw to that. So you better relax. This will take a while. What is this? The neighbor says, in case you were wondering, yes, I'm the Tetris Killer, and I'm also the hero, see? The Tetris Killer is standing with both arms above his head, odd metal instruments around his limbs. Wait, that means we're Orange Ricky. No, he surely looks like the long piece in Tetris. Laugh hysterically. I was Orange Ricky. I'm me. I start laughing and my chest hurts like hell. The Tetris Killer asks what that was, and I tell him that I hate stories relying on the evil gloating trope. We're that kind of person, huh? We watch movies and say, "Oh, I know this trope. I can recognize this trope. It's a thing I see. I've seen it in other things. I'm smarter than the movie because I know the trope." He makes a weird sound and murmurs something. He doesn't seem happy. Let me tell him about my former editor. I say, I used to have a great editor. He taught me about the importance of story endings. He had 2 rules: no rushing and no over-explaining. The Tetris Killer remains silent. I realize I can't feel my lower body. Hey, what's happening? He says, fuck you. I insist to know what's happening, though. He says that he won't tell me shit. And then he adds, just wait for the anesthesia to wear off. That when it hits me, if he's the hero, I must be Orange Ricky. The Tetris piece shaped like an L. What has he done to my legs? Horror clouds my senses, and I pass out. The end. And I guess that's the game. You can restart if you want. And I was told it was a fairly short story. And I guess it was just pretty much a straight up short story. There weren't really, well, I mean, there were choices we made, but I don't know if it actually would have, I don't know if we could change anything. Let me just quickly do like different choices and see if anything happens. What if I answered some replies? I start answering specific questions. I realize I need to keep the main thread updated. I will reply to specific users when everything cools down. Things are happening fast. Right? We know about this. There in the picture of a victim. Let's check some of the replies. Blue verified badges. Oh, my pulse is racing over those beautiful, beautiful blue badges. Retweeting my tweet. My tweet! Maybe, dare we dream? Maybe even Elon might retweet me. Oh, I can't, oh my goodness, my heart can't take this. Julie is happy about it. Send Julie a DM. Read new DM. Continue the thread. Search Twitter. Search. Okay, what if I name search myself? Some people mention my username and some people don't. I particularly hate people that mention my full name, but not my Twitter handle. I wonder, why is it so hard to follow such basic rules of netiquette? And also, is it like the mid-90s? I'm using the word netiquette? Am I someone on Usenet who's complaining about all the AOL users that are on here lately? Anyway, I'll tell her about... How about if I tell Julie about the neighbor this time? Oh, that's interesting. I assume police already have him in custody to testify, so I can't get an interview just yet. But she hasn't seen him in the reports. Okay, she suggests that I go to the bar. What if I get a beer? Order some beer. Open my laptop. Check my DMs. Lots of messages about my coverage from new readers. I scroll through them. No one is particularly useful, but I have a warm feel. I have this warm feeling only people going viral really know. And it's a human emotion that very few people actually get to experience. Only those people who go viral on Twitter really know what it's about. Okay, now we start reading about Linda's tweets. And I can't compete with Linda. I don't have the psychological knowledge to go at it from her perspective. So I need to look up bone reshaping and foot binding so I can make a tweet. Stop looking at Google Images. I force myself to read some more. Okay. Ilizarov. Okay, we still have to read about him. Compose a new tweet. We make our tweet. Tweet. Read the replies. And then this one goes viral. Check DMs. Julie is mad. Let's go outside. He runs. We go around the corner. Yeah, we get caught. Yeah, we still get caught. So I don't think we're going to get a different outcome here. Try to move. Right, we can't move. We can't feel our lower body. And he's not going to tell us anything. Okay, the end. Yeah, so I don't think there's... It doesn't seem like there is a different ending. Like, there are choices, but it's just... They don't really do anything. They don't really do anything. I kind of liked how it was more of a story about a guy who really wants to be popular on Twitter more than it is about a murder. I kind of like that element of it, but it is a very short story, and you don't... The choices don't matter. Like it's a fun little short story. I got a laugh at our horrible realization at realizing that we're Orange Ricky. Oh no. But this feels more like a proof of concept of someone wanting to try to make a interactive short story, and just to, to see if you can do it. Maybe practice for something bigger. But as it is, an entertaining, like, 15 to 20 minutes. But it's not really not a whole lot to it. I mean, that's kind of all, I guess. We read a story. A story about a man who really wanted to be popular on Twitter, only to fall victim to a murderer. Like, it's not really like a poetic justice thing, is it? Like, you might think that there's going to be a poetic justice thing where the guy's craving to be so popular on Twitter is going to be his downfall, but it's not. He just gets, like, hit in the head and then made into a Tetris piece. And there's really no, like, hoisted by his own petard element to it. I don't know. It just kind of ends. Wait, the person who told me about the crimes, he was actually the murderer? Ow, my head. Now I'm a Tetris piece. John said, I have to fight the Tetris pieces. But they said on the radio, no, John, you are the Tetris piece. And then John was a Tetris piece. Something like that. Anyway. I don't know. It just seems like a first draft. It seems kind of like a first draft. Maybe could take some more passes on this. And maybe have there be, like, potential different outcomes. Maybe add some, investigative elements. I feel like this isn't finished. I feel like I kind of like some of what it was doing, but I don't think it's finished. Is how I feel about the Tetris Killer. But as we know, what I feel is not actually what's important. What is more important is how the AI-generated rock feels about it. And I'm just thinking about how he might feel here. I'm thinking Rock feels kind of neutral about it. So, yeah, okay, how about this? So the rock is keeping it close to the chest. He's not really showing his emotions. He's just kind of sitting there saying, well, I was kind of interested in the premise. But it kind of, I don't know, didn't really go anywhere. I feel like there needed to be some more. Feels like it's a first draft. Feels like there could be more done here. More time in the oven, I suppose. And then, maybe at that point, we can look at this again, and maybe it'll put a smile on the Rock's face, on AI-generated Rock. But for right now, I don't think Rock really feels like... He doesn't really feel one way or another about the Tetris Killer. All we can really say is that it is a short story that we have read. I don't know if Nico Sarantaris is writing any more clickable short stories. I'd be interested in seeing if he maybe writes something that's a bit more fully formed, more fleshed out. But that's not really what the Tetris Killer is. Well, I said we were trying this out for an hour, but it didn't take nearly an hour to do it. So, that's the Tetris Killer. Described as a clickable short story. I just realized it's not described as an interactive story. It's described as a clickable short story. So it's not actually promising interaction. It's promising you can click on it, which is true. That is true. That's been the Tetris Killer.